Commissioner Smith.
Brad, I want to ask you again, I know you're in the middle of investigation. I mean, to me, this is serious, that a person sitting there is stalking or watching whatever. That's inexcusable. I'm like you. That's, you know, and Bruce, we need to get an answer to that. But anyway, is there anything that we need to do? But I don't want to mess up your investigation. I don't want the people at home thinking we're sitting here on our hands.
The number one thing that I need help on is the original EPA reports. I can cover the state reports. I don't have the original state reports in their entirety, but I have the faxes that were sent by Natural Resources to Knox County to prepare those state reports, and they have all the relevant data on them. I do not have the original EPA reports for all of the original years.
And who has that?
Well, there should be in file in the solid waste office. Now, so far they've told me they don't exist, but they also told me a lot of other things don't exist that I've got and proven that they had. Also, Natural Resources should have copies under their contract. I can prove, I have a letter from the EPA that says when they inspected Natural Resources back in '07, that they had absolutely all of their EPA 503 records and data on file. So if they had them in the summer of '07, me filing a lawsuit shouldn't have made them disappear.
Would it help if the law director sent a letter requesting that?
Absolutely.
Mr. Law Director, will you do that for us? Or do it for me?
Commissioner, members of the board, is this an ongoing litigation matter, this documentation?
This is an open record that I'm entitled to.
No, what I'm saying is this part and parcel of an open litigation?
It will involve the open litigation, I'm sure.
Okay, so do you have an attorney representing you?
I do have an attorney. He has sent a letter as well. I've sent open records requests. They've swore up and down these documents don't exist. I can prove that to be untrue, and I'm entitled to them. I mean, they can't go missing if they never existed. I mean, oh, these documents never existed. John never done them. Well, how did they go missing? And how were the EPA 503 certification statements improperly worded if they never existed? And how come I got copies of portions of them? I've got some of them. I don't have all of them. I filed this lawsuit. I'll be honest with you. What happened is I told Dean Farmer on December the 6th that this entire case could be proven directly from the TDEC file. The very next day, David Draper, attorney for NRR, signed the file out and inspected it. And the next business day after that, while the case was under seal, Tom Salter, Neil Denton, Rodney Rocket, Sid Bryan, the owner of NRR, and their attorney all met at the TDEC office while the case is under seal, and nobody's seen these documents since. I'm not saying they got them, but I'm saying that's the facts. Now, those meetings don't show up in the file indexes, but they all screwed up and they dropped the ball, and this is how. There's a security guard at TDEC, and you have to sign in, and they all signed in with a security book at the exact same time on the same day. And I got pictures of the security book to prove it. And in addition to that, Mr. Draper sent an email to the purchasing department and invited them in on the meeting. And I have a copy of it. They were invited to go all eat lunch at the Green Hills Grill. The day after I told your attorney, who was supposed to be representing you, that all the evidence was right in the TDEC file. And it all vanished. It all vanished. I got a letter from TDEC saying they vanished. I can prove they all signed in. I'll pull you up a picture of the it's in this file right here. Case summary, evidence, certification timeline. Here's where they all met in. This is where they signed into security, right there. Every one of them, while the case is under seal. And right here is where Mr. Draper requested I inform you of the luncheon meeting being held at the Green Hills Grill at noon on Monday, December the 10th, prior to the TDEC meeting, which begins at 2 p.m. The case was under seal at this time. What are they doing over there meeting? And where are all the original documents? Where are the original reports? I can prove they exist, and all the ones I've recovered were all changed.
I'm going to ask you one more time then, so I'm clear. You need what now?
I need the original EPA biosols.
Mr. Law Director, can you request that for us.
Well, you know, Commissioner, clearly I could write letters all day, but here's the dilemma. Either the documents are in the possession of Knox County or they're not. Either he's entitled to them or they're not. This is an ongoing litigation matter. He has an attorney. The remedy is, and we're not going to write letters all day. You know, if I was his attorney, I would sit there and say, I want these in discovery, fine. You're not going to give them to me. You go to court. You tell the judge. Now you're under the contempt powers of the court. But again, I mean, if the commission wants me to write a letter saying turn over the documents in your possession, fine. If they come back and say we don't have them, I don't know what further assistance I can provide.
Brad, would that help you one way or not? If it won't help you, we're not going to.
If the law director would be kind enough to send Natural Resources and Solid Waste both a letter and request the original reports, I would greatly appreciate it. That's the one thing I fought for the hardest. I've got a portion of these records. I need all of them. I can prove they exist. This is a letter that I got from the EPA files that states, let's see what page it is, records and reports. All in-house data and records concerning EPA Part 503 were kept. They're trailing me they didn't keep them before Tom Salter done them. Well, the EPA says otherwise. And this letter right here was back in July of 2007. That's before Mr. Salter went to work for Knox County. And the original ones are improperly worded. I've seen all of them before. I know what they say, but I need copies of them. They were asked to redo them at one time because they were improperly worded.
Brad, we have some more questions from some other commissioners. So.
Well, Mr. Lauder, I would like for you to get what he is requesting, and it just makes me mad that people are spending taxpayers' time and money sitting there watching with that. That's not right. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what, 2 years or 2 years more this man has been coming. He has never been wrong on anything that I've seen. And he knows what he's doing with this, and this stuff, what he's saying about he has some of this information. He has this information. Bottom line, he's trying to save us taxpayers some money. That's the bottom line, what he's trying to do. And I'm frustrated that it's going on this long and that nobody else wants to get in and put a stop to it. These department heads that have this and say, if we did wrong, we did wrong. Let's move forward. We'll keep dragging our feet on this. This is Knox County's money.
Commissioner Anders.
Mr. Jarret, do we have somebody that's outside the council that's looking at this issue for the commission?
Presently, Rob McConkey in my office in the Law Director office, has been essentially litigating this matter.
Pam Reeves was looking into some issue.
Oh, she's been asked as an independent investigator, correct?
Do we have any kind of, have we had anything that we can share, or I think this isn't litigation, and all this public discussion is not beneficial as far as gathering evidence. And when's this going to come to a conclusion, I guess is my question.
I don't know, sir. She was engaged by Mr. Lockett and communicates directly with him. I have had no conversations with her about this whatsoever. I do know that she experienced a death in the family, and that did have some delay. But again, I guess what's troubling me is Mr. Mays has a lawyer, and there's immediate access to the courts. Again, the rules of procedure are clear. You can't obstruct. If you have documentation in your possession to which the other side is entitled, the court will order the disclosure of that under penalty of contempt. And again, you know, any letter from my office is going to have to come under Mr. Lockett's signature because he's the law director, and you're asking essentially the law director to direct an individual who's employed by the mayor to divulge documents that apparently he's claiming he doesn't have. Whatever the commission's will, of course, it'll be followed. However, again, I'm troubled. If I was Mr. May's attorney, I'd have been in court and demanded it and make the attorney for the other side say why it's not being produced.
Hey, Brad, has your attorney asked for discovery?
We covered this in depth in Mr. Salter's depositions.
My question, has he covered?
We've
asked for discovery of all.
We've asked for these documents.
Well, more appropriately, the judge can. No, have you asked the judge to issue an order for the documents?
We asked for production of documents when we went to the motion to dismiss, and prior to that during deposition.